From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Monday, July 22nd. Expect a mix of sun and clouds today. You're going to feel that humidity get a little bit thicker today. We're going to reach the mid-80s. Might see a raindrop here or there this morning, but there is a chance for scattered showers and a few thunderstorms later on this afternoon. This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to make her first public appearance as a candidate for president. President Joe Biden endorsed Harris after his stunning announcement yesterday that he's leaving the race. Biden was initially slated to host today's White House event featuring college championship teams, including Trine University's men's basketball team from here in Indiana. Michael Yoshida is at the White House, where Harris is now the focal point of the campaign.
I just think it's a little shocking at this stage of the game.
Voters across the country reacting to President Joe Biden's stunning announcement. He is no longer seeking re-election in the 2024 race for the White House.
I'm upset and I'm sad about it.
I was so happy when I heard it because I just don't think that he's up to it.
While isolating with COVID, Biden posting a letter on X on Sunday saying, "I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down."
Joe Biden reminded us that true patriotism, true leadership is putting the people of the United States of America first, and that's what this president has done.
Shortly after announcing what will likely be the final chapter in his 50-plus year political career, Biden putting his support behind Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee. Harris responding, "I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination."
I do think she's the best candidate. I think the American people will see that in her, and they will compare her to the alternative.
Former President and Republican nominee Donald Trump reacting to Biden's move, saying on Truth Social, "Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president and is certainly not fit to serve." Now, the makeup of the Democratic ticket resting with the roughly 4,700 delegates who will, in the coming weeks, vote for a new potential leader.
And Monday, Vice President Kamala Harris will deliver marks here at the White House, honoring NCAA champions. As for President Biden, he said he'll address the nation later this week. At the White House, I'm Michael Yoshida for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
One of Kamala Harris's first public appearances since the move may be here in Indianapolis. The sorority Zeta Phi Beta says Harris is scheduled to speak at its convention. It starts tomorrow and runs through Saturday at the Indiana Convention Center. The sorority has so far not given an exact date or time for a speech, or if it will still happen given Sunday's surprise move. Indiana politicians from both sides of the aisle are responding and reacting to President Biden's move. News 8's government reporter Garrett Bergquist brings us their response.
One of Indiana's Democratic members of Congress already has endorsed Kamala Harris for president, and some of our Republican representatives already are attacking her record. Indiana's political figures began weighing in within minutes of Biden's announcement.
Well, I think it's an exciting moment in American history. I think it's a monumental moment in American history. I think that President Biden effectively made the right decision. I'm confident in Vice President Harris's ability. I think she's the right person to take on Donald Trump.
Carson had been a staunch supporter of Biden even after other congressional Democrats began calling on him to step aside. We asked Carson if he now plans to support Vice President Kamala Harris for president.
Absolutely. I'm very supportive of her.
Fellow Democrat Frank Mervan says he also backs Biden's decision, though he did not say anything about Harris. Meanwhile, Republican Congressman Rudy Yoakum attacked Harris's record. He says, remember, Kamala Harris's sole responsibility has been the southern border. How's that working out? The Biden White House has said her focus is immigration policy, not border security. Both Senator Mike Braun and Congressman Jim Banks say if Biden believes he is unfit to run for another term, he should resign as president immediately. Banks even called for him to be declared disabled under the 25th Amendment. Congressman Larry Bouchon was more measured. He says it has been clear for a long time he does not have the mental or physical capacity to serve another term. I want to thank the president for his decades of public service. We also heard from two Democratic candidates for statewide office. Governor candidate Jennifer McCormick and Attorney General candidate Destiny Wells both say they support Biden's decision to drop out. Wells says she'll support Harris. McCormick's statement made no mention of her. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Joe Donnelly, the Indiana Democrat who served in the U.S. Senate as President Biden's ambassador to the Vatican, spoke with Wish TV after Biden dropped out of the race. He says the president made the right move.
You know, he knows better than anybody, and so I think it's the right decision. You look at Vice President Harris and her record of accomplishments, the things she's done for our country, you can't help but look forward with optimism over the next few months and to what I think will be her election in the fall.
Donnelly also says he supports Vice President Harris to be the next Democratic nominee. As news of Biden's decision made it to voters, News 8's Kyle Larson caught up with some of them in Indianapolis.
I went to two bustling spots downtown to catch up with Hoosiers and see what they're thinking after the news today. It's safe to say they're feeling a range of emotions. Mass Ave and Monument Circle were buzzing as Hoosiers turned on their phones to find out President Biden dropped out of the race. For some, the news comes as a relief.
Yeah, I was sitting in church and my buddy told me, he looked over at me and I was like, yo, Biden just dropped out. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy.
Andrew Parker will vote for the very first time come November. As a staunch Republican, he's happy to hear the news. For others, though, relief isn't the word they'd use.
I just feel sad that he dropped out of the race at this point. I hope he had endorsed somebody else other than, who he endorsed.
And for others, Biden's decision only reinforced their plan.
I think I'm going to vote for Trump. I like Trump. I've been like Trump since the beginning. So, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump.
What I heard most, though, many don't have a clear sense of the decision they'll have to make come November, and that they're considering not voting at all.
Honestly, I really didn't even want to vote just because. But I know, people tell me it's a bad thing if you don't vote, but I don't know. I just feel like the way things are going right now, it's sort of hard to even say you should vote.
Mark said he lost faith in Biden's ability to lead after his performance in June's presidential debate, mostly because of his age. Biden is currently 81 years old and will be 82 just after November's election. Before pulling out of the race, he was the oldest candidate to run for president in American history. His decision now makes Donald Trump the oldest. After Biden endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, I asked voters what they'd think of her at the top of the ticket, many of them telling me they don't think she has enough time to run a proper campaign. I'm Kyle Larson for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
More Starbucks workers are joining a union. Hourly workers at the Starbucks on Mass Ave are the first in Indianapolis to do so. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez is outside the store with what's next in the process.
Hey, so first, the National Labor Relations Board has to certify the election. They're the federal agency in charge of union elections. Then the group of workers has to successfully bargain a contract with Starbucks. Out of the nearly 470 stores represented by Starbucks Workers United, none of them have been able to come to an agreement with the company so far.
Everyone is just super excited for our next steps.
Morgan Wilson has worked at the Starbucks on Mass Ave for a little less than a year now. She was part of the committee that led the store's effort to organize a union. Her coworkers are joining a growing movement within the company. The union, Starbucks Workers United, says 14 other stores in the U.S. announced their intentions to unionize this month.
I really want to inspire other stores in Indianapolis to do the same thing as well. I would love to lend a helping hand to any other store that would be willing to organize.
According to Wilson, the union workers at the Mass Ave Starbucks aren't making wages their top priority. Instead, they have three other demands. First, they want more consistent, guaranteed hours. Also, the company considers this store to have a high number of security incidents. So, they want the company to provide security personnel. Finally, they don't want to have to pay to park just to go to work. Wilson says she and her coworkers like their jobs and just want to make it a better place to work.
Starbucks is one of the only jobs where it's very queer friendly. We have a lot of trans workers and they can't go to other companies because they won't be respected.
Starbucks declined an interview with News 8 about the union election, but provided a statement that says, "At Starbucks, we believe that our direct relationship as partners is core to the experiences we create in our stores, and we respect our partners' rights to have a choice on the topic of unions. We are committed to delivering on our promise to offer offer a bridge to a better future to all Starbucks partners. In a letter to Workers United in December of 2023, a Starbucks executive told the union that the company wants to have a contract approved sometime this year. It's a move that signifies a shift in how the company has dealt with the union in the past.
We are pumped, and hopefully there is some real positive change happening.
Once the vote is certified, this will become the 8th Starbucks in Indiana to unionize. They join just another store, 2 stores just down the road and on I-70 in Plainfield that voted to unionize back at the beginning of the year. Reporting downtown, I'm Hernan Gutierrez, Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
Kyle Larson has landed more hardware at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway 2 months after taking Rookie of the Year at the Indy 500. He's now the champion of the Brickyard 400. Sunday's NASCAR race ended in extra laps, overtime as it's now known, after 2 late crashes. The second one happened just ahead of the white flag, and the race ended in yellow. Larson's win came after a frenzied push to the front. He was back in 12th with about 30 laps to go. 2 months ago, rain cost him a shot at doing the double of the Indianapolis 500 and the NASCAR race in Charlotte on the same day, but now he has a spot in track history.
Something you dream about, for a long time, whether it be winning here in a stock car or any car, kissing the bricks is special. So, I've been able to over in the dirt track there in turn 3, now in the stock car. Hopefully someday I'll get to kiss the bricks with the Indy 500.
Sunday's Brickyard was the first on the oval since 2020. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.